David, but what do you think will happen to Russia itself, and what consequences it will face for all the war criminals, war crimes they committed in Ukraine, for their attempt not just to commit genocide of our nation, but to repeat genocide of our nation, because as you know, internationally most of the countries already confirm, they admit that in early years, through starvation, Russia already committed genocide of Ukrainian nation, and this is at least their second attempt.
Yes, well, my strong conviction is that when the war is over, several things will happen. One is that Putin will definitely be removed. He may be removed before the end of the war, but certainly when the war is over, he will be removed because he's failed to achieve any of his objectives. But sadly, you see, I saw Russia in those years of freedom as being a part of the Western world, of establishing political relationship and friendship with the nations. And what Putin has done, he has undone all the good that's been done in Russia over many, many years. And Russia will take more than a whole generation to recover economically, financially, political, from what Putin, with his terrorism, has done. So it is quite serious, but there's another side to it. And that is, I evangelized extensively, as you know, not only in the Ukraine, but in Belarus and in the Crimea and in Russia itself. And we saw vast numbers of new churches opening up. They are under great persecution because Putin is actually afraid of the prayers of evangelical Christians. And that's why he's accusing here in the Ukraine that you evangelical Christians are Satanists. Because unfortunately, Putin has the support of the Russian Orthodox Church. But you know who the head of the church is. You know. Tell me his name. The Orthodox Church in Russia.
His public name or his real name, because in Ukraine we know both. His last name Gundyaev, but he is known as so-called Patriarch Kirill.
Yes, but I've seen the reports that when he was a young man, he first met Putin when they were in Geneva, and that Kirill was a member of the KGB, and he infiltrated the World Council of Churches in Geneva. Now, I was aware because I was opposed in my years of working under communism. I was opposed by the World Council of Churches. And Kirill, who is now the patriarch of the Orthodox Church, was one of those people. And I fear that evangelical Christians will suffer a level of persecution in Russia.
You know that on official level it was said by one of the representatives of Council of Defense of Russia that one of the goals of this war is desatanization of Ukraine, where sects united and reject traditional Orthodox values. Of course, they mean Russian Orthodox values.
Well, I'm aware of this, and the two things that are so strange about this attitude is, one, that they're basically accusing the evangelical churches of being satanic here. And you are by far the biggest majority now, you have the big churches. But secondly, that of course he accused Ukraine of being Nazi. But Zelensky is a Jew. And how can you accuse Zelensky of being Nazi? Because the Nazis persecuted the Jews. So really, it doesn't make sense. Unfortunately, in Russia, most of the war is a propaganda war in order for Putin to get support for what he's doing. It's propaganda. And I'm only too aware of the danger.
Well, if they call Nazi those who already sacrificially defend their own land, then we should agree with this. But they made so many mistakes spreading this propaganda in their own country and, unfortunately, trying to impose their opinions around the world.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes, because not every country supports Ukraine or ourselves in Britain. Unfortunately, China is in the balance, and there are other countries that are not opposing what Russia is doing. They're sitting, we say, sitting on a fence.
Silently observing.
Yes, yes.